Hi everyone, this is Shubham Mishra here, and currently I'm working at Sentinel One as a senior threat hunter. First of all, it's a great opportunity to speak here on such a wonderful platform for such great audience. Today, mostly I will talk about the insider threats. So, why we should talk about the insider threat is always every time we used to be worried about the outside attackers, and we do not bother, or we do not we do not worried about the insider threat itself, because might be sometime we are not knowing the impact what insider threat can cause, or sometime we just neglect them. So let's start and discuss about the insider threat today. Just sharing my ppt here. Yes. So if I say about the insider threat, so what you guys, what you understand for from insider threat is, so basically insider threats are not viewed as, or not taken as seriously like external threats or like a cyber attack. So sure. So, what do you understand by insider threat? If, in a simple word, if I can define it, it is just like insider threat is the potential for a person with access to an organization assets to use this assets in a way that could negatively affect the organization. So if I say this, what I mean from this is, just take an example, a very basic example. When we sleep in night at our home, what we do for our house safety, what we do is we lock all our doors, we lock all our windows, and then we feel like, okay, we have safeguarded our house, we can sleep peacefully now. There is no one outsider, no one can no one can come in, and nothing to worry about. But sometime we forget to check if there is somebody inside itself who can harm us, or our any family members or anything inside itself. So when I talk about this, why I am highlighting to talk today about the insider threat is because day to day, every time we are seeing a very huge impact of insider attacks. So, on the recent data which we have observed, 50% of the organizations suffered operational disruption from this insider threat. 48% of organization have saw loss of critical data and IPs, and 37% of organization have experienced some data breaches and some other data loss and damage they have observed. So when I say this, let me give you guys an example. So here, what you can observe is, as a cyber security architect, or as a cyber security organizations who are safeguarding the data for different clients and customers, what we are doing is, basically we are trying to safeguard from the outside attackers. So you can see, this is the organizational structure, and basically we are trying to safeguard from the outsider threat, but we forgot to protect our data from the insider threat. Outsider threat, it still you can monitor in many ways. That is fine. All the organization are very focused towards it. But what about the insider threat? So sometime insider threat, what because why we have to worry about the insider threat is, insider threat is someone who already have all the accesses, who is already having the privileges to harm the environment. So whenever we discuss about the threat, we should always be focused about insider threat too. So let me tell you guys what are the types of insider threat basically. So here we come. Insider threats are basically, you can say that they are of three types. So one is the malicious one, the another one is the negligent, and the another one is accidental. So let me give you some example for all of this. So malicious insider threats are someone whose motive is to harm. It could be anything. They can harm the organization by stealing some data, they can harm the organization by any other way. Negligent in the sense, it can be neglected, they might be like the smaller one. And accidental is nothing but, just take an example. I am an employee in an organization, and after many of the many of the trainings and everything, I have got many trainings, but whenever I'm going outside, I'm giving you a very small example, whenever I'm going outside for any break or anything, I'm forgetting to lock my device. This is very basic example. Every time I have seen this for many of the employees, which sometime they do it in a very hurry, or sometime they do it knowingly. They think like nothing will happen, they just keep it open and just go. Accidental, in accidental, what you can cover is, sometime what we do, if you guys have observed, even I have seen many of the recent conferences from some of the some of the very known conference group, or some of the websites, they organize some of the conferences, and they ask you to just give your organizational credentials. And what they give you offer for that, they just mention, if you use your organizational credentials, you will get the pass for free, or you will get some discount or something like that. So sometime it has happened for some legit conferences also. They are not at all malicious, they are not at all compromised, but we sometime we don't even bother where we are giving our organizational credentials, and we just go ahead and we give our credentials there. So that comes under the accidental, anything which you are doing unknowingly, but but indirectly you are harming your environment. So that is the types of the insider threat. Now, uh, coming to the next, in the press familiar incidents, let me show you something. Yeah. So the target breach. So basically, if you guys have seen, most of the organizations are getting target by phishing emails. So in my past organization where I was working as a part of incident response team, we used to monitor in a day more than 200 plus phishing emails. We used to analyze more than 200 phishing emails. So I have been I have met with some of the hackers. They are actually the hackers who work for some of the government projects, or some of the authorized organizations to perform some known activities, authorized activity. So they used to tell me, whenever we are sending the phishing emails to any of the organization, we send that with a thought that humans are stupid, humans are meant to do some stupidity. So they are very confident about that. With that confidence, they used to send emails. So we might have observed many a times, like on Christmas Eve or on New Year Eve or any of the festivals, we used to get lot of phishing emails with some tempting subjects, or with some tempting the content in that. So we as a human, we have nature of trying and checking the things. So we as a human, what we used to do, whether we are getting any emails with some offers and all, we just go ahead, we just click on the if any links are there, if any images are there, or any kind of documents are there in that particular email, we just try and we just try to access that or open that. So that's it, that is done for the target attacker. Whatever purpose he have with that phishing email, he will try to achieve that. So that's how we have seen the targeted breach for many of the organization, and it's still ongoing. And a phishing email is the one which is most and mostly the one of the very commonly used attack techniques from the attackers, and they are the favorite ones of them because they don't have to do much hard work for targeting any of the organization through the employees. So coming to the next, there was a very huge attack like from the insider thread itself, in one of the company, that was Neiman Marcus. And there is a proverb that is needle in the needle stack. So needle in the needle stack, in the sense, you are trying to search out something from a very huge bundle. So it is just like you have all the xdr filters, you have all the sim tools, and you have everything, all the network security systems in your environment to monitor everything. But if it's too huge for you, sometime what does employee do? So it's just like average enterprise logs you're getting events a day, it's too huge. Average enterprise logs for security events, it's too huge. So sometime what it does, there is chances of missing out some of the important things. So it is just like there is a bundle of documents, and from there you are trying to find out a single page of something. So that is there. So, coming to the insider threat, how you can check that whether your organization is well prepared for the insider threat or not. So, it is like, what is your SOC doing? What is your incident response doing? Our alert fatigue results is missed in, these are the results of insider threats. Alert fatigue results in missed incident, or signal to noise ratio is unmanageable, or one user's malicious activity, sometime you are not able to monitor, and it is leading to something else. So what you can do for it? So how we can reduce the this how we can mitigate, you can say that, how you can remediate and mitigate, or the organizations can mitigate the towards the insider threat, by reducing the alert fatigue, by tuning and by applying the proper xdr filter rules for any kind of threat. So, a proper by following and proper antonomy to gather evidences, and how it can be done, basically to understand, because it is very difficult, let me tell you frankly, it is very difficult to monitor. If an organization is big or small, it is very difficult to keep an eye on each and every single employee of the organization, because at the end, you have to trust your employees too, you have to trust your colleagues too, and everybody in the organizations. So whenever we are applying the xdr filter rule, we have to make sure of some of the key points, which is like these are the very basic one. So who is the user to the organizations? What are the this user's peers? Does user have any special characteristics? Is he an executive, a privileged user perhaps? When does the user usually log in? When did we last see this user? So basically, we have to understand particularly about, if we are monitoring a log for any user, we have to understand if any abnormal activities is happening, what is the designation of that particular user, and what is his day to day activity. Okay. And also we can apply some rules to check where is the user's connections, where sometime we see the user sign in logs, and we see like randomly user are trying to log in from some random ips. It could be like user have logged in from last 6 to 7 days through some different ips. And recently user have tried logging from some japan or chinese ip. And we later on we can go forward and we can do analyze for that IP, and we can understand, even we can check with user itself whether user is traveling or user is trying to use some VPN, or user is itself not aware of those sign in activities. And also, as I said, we can research and investigate more about those signed in whatever IP user have used. We can research about the source, the reputations, and the registration details of those particular IP. Also, we can analyze who used the asset before the current employee who have used that asset before. What kind of users earlier or currently have tried login to this asset, what actions are normally performed in this particular asset. So where all these things you can see from the device in inventory, or from the users sign in details. You can get all those details from there to analyze further. Also, whenever we as a SOC team or we as a incident response team, it is for all of us who are working for a cyber security domain. So whenever we are seeing any of the alert, we have to try to understand, is this alert a common alert for the organization? Have we seen this kind of alert earlier? Had this alert have fired before on this asset, or has this alert have been fired for this user or any other user for our organization? So these are the very basic examples and very basic key points which we can follow. So, example to this, abnormally logged in using VPN from China, as what I said you in the earlier slide. Some user are just abnormally logging in using some other VPN, or accessing accessing some networks which she or he never accessed before. Nowhere had or whatever servers, or she or he is trying to log in, or trying to use, none of their team members have used it before. Normally, and whatever files that particular employee is trying to access, to edit or to modify, whether that particular person is authorized to do it or not. And after doing all this activity, have we got any alert for that particular malware or that particular activity or not? And if we have got any such alerts, or any we have got notified for such kind of activity, suspicious things, so we have to check whether it is the first time we have seen in our organization, or we have observed it earlier too. uh, so this is why I'm covering all this here is, it is a very simple do is, we use some our personal laptop for for logging in, or doing some work of our office work if we are traveling or doing something. So just take an example, if some of the applications we are using in the organization that doesn't use proper SSO or any proper authentication method, so we are like, okay, we are traveling, we can just use the personal systems, and we can just log in there, and we can do our work from there. So, today I'm talking about this threat insider because we are always worried about the outsider attacker, but we are not taking proper precautions and measure about the insider threat. And that is the biggest cause of all kind of the large attackers to target the organizations, because most of the time the attackers, they have this mindset, the easiest way they can do is they can use the insider employees itself to targeting anything in the organization. So the best way for the best way what we can use is we should train our employees in a very proper way, because it is very difficult to keep monitoring each and every employee of the organization. But we can use some of the mitigation steps. We can use some of the security policies depending on the organizational their own policies, because every organization will be having different security policies. Just the small measures what we can do is we can disable the external devices for the employees, or we can create some policies where if any user is trying to use some of the external devices, it should trigger an alert that should notify the incident response team or the IT team or somebody who is monitoring every activity of each and every employees. So if or they should get some pop-up after getting the allow notification from the IT team, then only they will be able to use that external device. Also we can make some good security policies for the employees, so that none of the people can none of the people can land harming their own organizational data. Because trust me, as per my analysis and whatever I have observed till now, most of the time none of the employees are doing it knowingly, but yeah, unknowingly or due to some accidental click, or due to some unknowing things, they are just landing to harming their own company's environmental own organizational's data breach. So as I said, the best practices can be establishing an environment, communication through all the sectors, conducting proper training in the sense, sometime what we do is whenever we are joining in an organization, we are getting the proper training, the security and compliance training. And what we as a human do, we just click and we just pass on each and every, we just complete each and every questions, or we do not watch the video properly, or we do not read the instructions properly, that what should be do's and do not the things of the organization. We just complete the questions and we just complete the training. We do not focus about what is written in that training, or what is the content of training to deliver to train the employees. So conducting the proper training, and when we are conducting the training, we should make sure that that training is understandable and it's easy for all kind of department of an organization, not only to the cybersecurity employees. And sources to investigate insider threats. Let me show you. There are some sources for that. Yes. So there are various sources which you guys can get. So you can get it through SANS itself. I have given some of the links here. You can just go and search the insider threat over the SANS. You can get it from there. Yes. So I tried to make this PPT, shorter, because I wanted to interact with you guys much, and to make sure that we are on the same page to understand about insider threat. And in the end, we all know that there is a proverb that there is no patch for human stupidity. So let's make sure that we as a human, we as a we as a human or a employee of any kind of organization, we should learn this, and we should make others to learn this, that accidentally or unknowingly we should not cause any harm to our organization, because it's still easy to safeguard ourselves from the outside attackers, but it's very difficult to safeguard ourselves or any of the organization to the from the insider threats. So it's very very important to be aware of this insider threat. And as per me, every organization should establish a proper policy, proper training towards this insider threats for each and every employee, and they should implement proper security policy to safeguard them. Otherwise we cannot be able to stop attacks for that will be always there, but we should not be we will not be able to minimize that as well. So let's work on this together. Let's learn this from for ourselves. Let's teach this to other employees and colleagues also, so that in this in the journey of this cyber security, we can support and we can help each other to grow. And as we all know, cyber security is a very vast thing, and still we all are learner in this. It's just like a ocean, and every day we are just getting some drop of it. We are learning every day. So let's learn and grow together in this vast domain. So that's it from my side, guys. And if you have anything or if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm here for that. I'm happy to talk more about the insider threat. So, if any one of you are interested to talk anything on this, or if you have any suggestions or ideas, or any other thoughts for insider threat, you can definitely share it here. Okay. If no questions yet, later on, if you guys have anything, you can check out my profile over LinkedIn. You can connect me there. Uh, I could see one question here. What is the rate of inside? Okay, so I cannot say it. Like I cannot confirm the actual percentage, but whatever I have observed till now, or whatever I have read from somewhere, so that is near around more than 50%. So yeah, I hope I have answered your question, Seema. So you could say that half of the attacks and are happening through this insider threats itself. Uh, I could see Rubia's question. Hey Shubham, I like the way you explained use cases. Can you please help understand with insider threat in remote jobs? So yes, obviously, because it is not like insider threat will only be there, or insider threat impact will be there only if you're working in the office. It's everywhere. So in remote jobs, what I can explain you is, see, we all are working remotely. In office, it's still the organization are able to monitor the people properly, because we are sitting beside the colleagues, we are sitting beside the managers, and we are in the office environment. We are using the office network and everything. Still we are using the office, working remotely, we are still using the office VPN and everything, but we are still using the our home Wi-Fi. And nowadays it is very easy to bifurcate the home Wi-Fi, and to hack it. It's very easy for the hackers. So we have to make sure when we are working remotely, wherever we are going, we are either at home or anywhere, we are working from cafe or anywhere, we should be using the secure Wi-Fi, and we should be using the secure network to work upon. And whenever we are working remotely, whatever we are doing on our laptops, that is our official laptop, organizational laptops, we should be taking that as it's our asset. It's not like it's organizational asset, and if anything will happen, that doesn't matter to us. No, we are working for cyber security domain, and we are dedicated towards our organization. So whatever we are trying to access from wherever, whichever browser we are using, we should make sure that we are updating all the applications, all the browsers at the proper time, and whatever we are accessing, we should be aware of that. So yeah, that is very basic thing we have to make sure when we are working remotely. I hope I have answered your question, Rubia. Okay, guys, I have already exceeded the time. I'm just leaving from here. Have a great day, guys, and let's learn together and grow together in the vast field of the cybersecurity domain. And let's be committed towards our organization and safeguard our each and every asset. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day ahead. Take care.